All right, what's up, y'all? We are live, looks like. Wasn't quite ready for that stuff earlier. Hey, man, I'm still learning a little bit about how to do the thing in my bopper and get things going, but, you get there sometimes. Let me go ahead and get this linked over to the bunker. I want to make sure that I get that so we can get the folks watching over there as well. Just give me a second on that. Big win for sure, though. My goodness. I just couldn't believe that it actually went down the way that it went down. That, like, that they were playing. The offense was really bad in the first half. I mean, let's be real about it. And then the next thing you know, like, they're pretty good and they're making sense. You're like, what? And everybody on the bunker's like, yo, I'm done. I'm out. And I totally understand where they're coming from on that, but because I thought they were out too. But sometimes weird things happen. And Bo Nix was getting better as the game went on, for sure. Let me go ahead and put this up. I'm going to give them the number too. This is probably not a good idea, but we'll see what happens. If I know the bunker, if I know anything about the bunker, they're going to be crazy about this. But that's what we want. That's exactly what we want. So if you're looking at the stream here, we've got some pictures there from Robin Kahn, our outstanding photographer, and some stuff from Todd Van Emst as well. Got some stats there for you from the game. And I still can't believe how this thing went down. That Auburn's just getting pounded in the first half. And then you get into the second half, and it's like Bo's getting a little bit better, and Seth's probably not getting a whole lot better. But Booby, man, he made some plays. And I mean, we know Booby makes plays. We know that. I mean, that's kind of what he does. He kind of gets in trouble, during when they're just practicing in fall camp, and maybe he's not maybe hustling as much as they'd like to see. It happens sometimes, but when you get out there and it's game time, you know who goes off? Boobie Whitlow. He did some serious work tonight. Some really serious work tonight. Let's see what we got on the chat here. Chase, what up? How y'all doing? Andrew, Maddie, my bad. Sorry, my daughter's name is Maddie, but we spell it differently. No big deal. Red Auerbach from the grave. Commending Owen Papo, who was outstanding tonight. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, maybe he's going to start or maybe he's not going to start. But then he gets in there and he's, like, outstanding. Like, he was really good all night. He missed a tackle, I want to say. There's Brian Matthews checking in from the stadium there. I want to say he missed a tackle on his second snap of the game. And I was like, yeesh. But T. Will stuck with him and was like, we're going to keep playing him. And he was really good. And I thought in the second half, he was one of their best players. He made a big stop on a third down. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a really tough play, but it was a play that if he misses it, they were going to convert it. And, man, he was really good. To be that young and be playing linebacker, I bet he got 60 snaps tonight. Let's take a look at some of these numbers. I've got the big numbers there. Let me find that particular screen. All right, so we've got total plays, 75 for Auburn, 70 for Oregon. That's a lot of plays for Auburn based on what was going on last year. Got to get some water down here. 75 plays, 383 for Auburn. 70 plays, 332 for Oregon. I would like to see how that was broken up between first half and second half, though, because I felt like at one point Oregon was up like 25 plays to 3 or something in the first quarter because Auburn just, kind of shit the bed, really, in the first quarter, I thought, and then started picking up some momentum as they were moving on. But I do want to give some props to the folks who are in there. Brantley, what up? Booby started with 10 carries and like 32 yards and finished with 24 and 111. You're right, man. Booby was picking it up big time in the second half, no doubt about it. You can see right there. Listed officially as Jatarvius, 24 carries for 110. No touchdowns, but he made some really big plays. I want to say it was the second to last drive. Got my notes here where he was kind of like they were just giving him the ball and saying, "Hey, can you do something for me, booby?" And he was getting it done. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have the exact play. There was a time there in the third quarter and into the fourth where they were just really relying on Booby to do something. And remember, there was a play there. I want to say it was a third, and he went right, and there was nowhere to go, and he just kind of backed it up and went the other way and was able to get like 6 or 7 yards. Again, not a sexy play per se, but he kept the drive going, and they don't get something done if he doesn't make that play. So we're going to end up talking about Bo and Seth a lot, but the truth is that Booby made this happen. I believe that, and I will say that to my grave because it's going to be the big Bo Nix thing. And, I mean, I get it, man. Bo was bad in the first half, had some really bad reads, and he was just getting better, man. Drive by drive. I wouldn't necessarily say one drive after the next he was better, but, like, groups of drives. Like the first, let's say, 3 was just – I mean, I'm sure Gus went into the game thinking, we got to be careful with him the first 3 drives, not put too much on him. And then maybe the next 3 we add a little bit more and add a little bit more. And you could kind of see in those clumps of 3 or 4 drives he was getting better and better. I think the defining drive was their 13th drive. So there you go. Red Auerbach's still here. Brian, what up? Britt, he mentions that Britt was unbelievable. Yeah. KJ had some big-time plays, some big-time stops. I don't have that written down, though. But I remember him making some plays there. He had an open field tackle there, I think, in the third quarter. It was huge. It wasn't necessarily a really tricky play. I think Herbert was out in the open field, and he just kind of came up and made the play. But, I mean, if he ducks his head and misses that tackle, it's probably something really bad. And he didn't do that. And, I mean, that's all you can ask for a guy who's coming in to try to fill in Deshaun Davis's shoes. No doubt about that. I was thinking the phone would be ringing at this point because I had talked with Doc Domsta about jumping on, and also Keller Dog, who can be very entertaining when things are going poorly, but not necessarily as much maybe when things are going really, really well. So let's see. James Crapia has the second half breakdown. Pena, thanks for offering that, brother. Looks like he's got the looks like the Nigerian flag there for Oregon just because of the way it's set up. Second half, Oregon gets 133 to Auburn's 222 yards. Okay. Bo Nix goes 7 for 14 in the second half. Let's see, first downs, 12 first downs to 7 Auburn advantage there. 8 rushing, 4 pass. 4 for 9 on third down in the second half. That's pretty good. 1 for 1 on fourth down. We got to talk about that. The game-defining drive by Bo Nix. My goodness. Absolutely incredible. I mean, it's just like, I remember watching that, it was Auburn at Georgia, maybe 05. Definitely Brandon Cox. The years kind of get away from me. It's just something that happens with me. And that was the game. They ended up winning that game. That's the one where they had the fumble and it went into the end zone and then they got it. That's got to be 05. But I was like, before that drive started and Brandon Cox was going out there, I was like, there's no way. There's no way they're going to get this done. And Brandon, if you're watching, me and Brandon kind of went back and forth a little bit when I was covering him, but I was like, no way this is going to happen. And they made it happen. And in this game, although the bunker was like, I'm done, I didn't think they were done because Oregon had really not gotten that far out. I mean, I thought Oregon was playing better than Auburn, but they didn't blow them away. And they really weren't that far away, even at their best. I think it was, 21-6 at one point. I thought it was worse than that. But the score wasn't that bad, and I thought they can get this thing back because Bo's going to get better. He's going to acclimate. He is going to get better, and he did. And so they got back in the game, and they won it. Brandon and Brantley and War Eagle JF remind me that it is 05, so that was the game, yeah. To me, this is going to be one of those drives that's like that 05 drive where they won at Georgia, where I'm like, probably not going to make this work. So let's go back through that last drive. They got a 1st and 10 at the 40, pass to Williams. They get a modest gain, 2nd and 4. They call for the Knicks keeper, go to 3rd and 3. And that was the call where they threw for Sal down on the right sideline. And then Andy and Stan were like, it was a drop. But I was watching on TV. I didn't think that was a drop. I mean, I think a great receiver might have been able to make that, but it was really underthrown, and Sal was having to kind of reach down. And I don't know, man. DZ, I'm going to go ahead and approve that comment, even though he had a bad word in there. Bad guy. So he reaches down for it. He can't quite pull it in. Could have been pass interference by the letter of the law, but wasn't. So you go to 4th down, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, man, problems here. Sure enough, they ran a bootleg. It looked like it was just, maybe it was a rollout. I couldn't quite tell. I mean, I was just watching it in real time and worrying about all the stuff that I got to do for the site or whatever. But, yeah, this is the last drive for sure, 49 minutes. And the last Auburn drive. He rolls out. He gets it by the nose of the football. I think that was the right spot, too, because, yeah, I mean, his whole body was over the line. I was surprised that that was even a big issue of consternation. Brian says Samir Dowdy gets called for pass interference on that play. That's good stuff. That is pretty timely, too. But anyway, so he converts that 4th down, and I'm like, whoa, that was a huge play. All right, so you go to 1st and 10. They spike it. Whatever. They're out of timeout. 2nd and 10. He throws to Seth. Incomplete. I'm trying to remember what that throw was. I mean, it might have been the overthrow. You go to 3rd and 10. Then he hits Seth on that kind of like that deep drag. Got him to about the 25 or so. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to complete this one either. And he does. And then you're thinking at that point, they're going to try to set this thing up for the field goal and let Anders put this thing away. And no, they throw the ball. I couldn't believe it. And they got a one-on-one matchup with Seth. And they were like, let's just go for it. And Bo liked what he saw and threw the ball, and I thought this is a really bad decision. And then Seth goes up and gets it and scores a touchdown. It's like, wow, that's a great decision. Wonderful. So Bo Nix is definitely not an Auburn legend at this point. I mean, first game of his true freshman season, but that was a legendary drive. Absolutely legendary. Wow. That's pretty incredible. AP, I'm going to go ahead and clear that, even though you used some bad words. Same thing for 49 minutes to midnight. Those were some very large pelotas for Bo Nix there. So that was a really incredible drive. It's a legendary drive, in my opinion. I mean, it's not like Bo over the top or anything, but considering the circumstances and his age and how much of the game was on the line at that point, that was pretty big, man. I don't think a lot of kids can pull that off. Let's see. I saw some other good questions on here. Brian mentions that was a Roma Shadu. Yeah, on that deep drag. It was a deep drag, too, as I recall. Then it got fumbled, and I think Courtney Taylor came up with that, if I can remember. But, man, that's a long time ago. I have a hard time remembering what I did earlier today. DZS says, what a game, War Damn Eagle. Yeah, that's a good one. Paul asks, Gatewood transfer role moving forward. I think Gatewood got one snap tonight. He got a Wildcat snap. They ended up scoring on it. It was kind of a risky play, right? He went up and over, kind of stuck the ball out. It was about to get knocked out of his hand, but he had crossed the plane. He was fine. But that's the kind of thing that Gus lives for. He loves trying to get those role players like a chance to kind of get their beak wet like that. And so that was big for Joey. I don't think he's going to transfer. I mean, not right now. I don't think it's going to be like Kelly Bryant was last year. I don't know. It's tough, you lose that position battle to a true freshman, a guy who's basically your age, and I can't say what he's going to do moving forward, but I bet he hangs in this year. They're going to find a way to get – dude, he's good. He's a good player. He's a big player. They just felt like in the passing game, maybe he was a step behind Bo, and they also felt like Bo was getting better every practice or every 2 practices or whatever. It's kind of slower. It's not necessarily minute by minute, but I think that's what really impressed Gus was just the way that Bo would make mistakes, let's say in day 2 or day 3 of camp, and then by the time they got to day 10, he would be in situations where he would potentially make that mistake, and then he wouldn't. And then Gus would ask him about it afterwards. Why didn't you make that play? Why'd you make that read? And then he liked the answer that Bo gave him, just kind of like, this kid's really thinking along with it, and he's getting better intellectually every single time. Not that Joey's not, but I think Bo was just blowing them away with the things that he was asking. And I think the way you saw it tonight, they gave him an opportunity to get out there and do his thing. And, yeah, he laid some eggs early in the first half, no doubt. And you're thinking to yourself, this kid's not ready for prime time, but I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. I mean, he's so young. He's never seen some of this stuff. You can do things in practice. Kevin Steele does things in practice to mess with him, but it's not going to be the same as Mario Cristobal. They're going to have different ideas. Corey says Gatewood's going to play a ton next week against Tulane. I could see that. Although, here's the thing. You got Texas A&M in, 3 weeks now? So you've got the Tulane game. You've got Kent State against J.G. Tate All-American, Woody Barrett, by the way. And then you've got A&M. I feel like it would be wise to try to use Bo as much as you can heading into that A&M game. You want him to have as many snaps as possible. I mean, if you get up 4 touchdowns on Tulane, well, that's a different story. But, Corey also says Sal was awful on Bo's second pick. Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't a great throw. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the onus is on Bo to make a better play there. But he didn't do much to help. I felt like he could have done something more. CVC says, why didn't they go for 2 at the end? It could have cost us. That is a good question, and I was on your team until I believe it was a Twitter user by the name of Samantha, I think it was, and I'm sorry if I didn't get that right, pointed out that if they just go ahead and go for 2 and they don't get it, then they're in a situation where they were only down, they were only up 5 or 6? It would have been a situation where if Oregon had scored a touchdown, it would have put them out of reach. It would have put them up 9. And so that's why they didn't want to run the risk of missing out on the 2 points. That's when Prince Tega got called for the personal foul, for the false start, put them out. So that was the thing. It wasn't readily apparent to me either, but that made a lot of sense to me. And Justin Lee from the OA News, whose advice I trust on these kinds of things, was also pointing that out as well. Glad to hear on the text machine here that Matt Crouch is watching, my guy. Matty, you're my guy. Thanks for coming in clutch with me before we went over to Malzahn's. Can't remember when that was. I guess that was late July. Ended up having some beers over at a spot that my man Matty pointed out. It's good stuff. Like having beers. In fact, I have a little bit of alcohol here with me tonight. Just drinking some Old Barnstown Bottle and Bond that I snagged in Kentucky the last time that I was out there. Navin says, not that 2-point. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm the worst you've ever seen at remembering specific plays. I just remember being outraged that they didn't go for 2 there, even after the false start. But then it made sense once people on Twitter were like talking me down because I got a little heated about it. Anyway. 49 minutes says I gave Lewis the wrong number. I swear I have it written down here correctly. That has to be the case, though. I probably did write it down wrong. Why would I do that? I will go through a few more of these. I do have some video stuff queued up, but here's the thing, man. When I was at the Advertiser years ago, I got into some copyright trouble with ESPN running some videos on a stream that was more like on my blog. And so once you've dealt with ESPN lawyers giving you cease and desists, I'd rather not get involved with that again. That was not a lot of fun. So let me make sure that I do have the number right. All right. So here's what was going on there. For those of you who were trying to call into the show. Now, understand this, okay? I'm 47. And some of the technology associated with trying to put this show together is kind of complicated, meaning it's not as easy as just downloading an app on your phone and being like, hey, man, I'm ready to go. You have to do it. It takes a lot more to do that. And so what happened was I forgot to turn Skype on. So I now have Skype on. I have some voice messages from people who are probably like, JG, I'm trying to get on the show, bro. What happened? Well, I have Skype on now, so that'll probably help. And if worse comes to worse, I can just have my wife call in. I know it'll work there because she called me. when we were doing the tests earlier. All right, we're going to take our first call here. All right, guys, you ready for your first call? Here we go. Yo, what's up, caller? How you doing? Where you at?
Lovely. How are you?
Where you at?
Birmingham, Alabama.
All right. You on the AuburnSports.com, folks?
I am.
All right, word. So what'd you think about this game?
I thought it was awesome. I couldn't believe the ending.
Yeah, me neither. Your thoughts about Bo Nix in general? I bet you were mad at him in the first half, weren't you?
Man, I wasn't really mad at him. It was just a lot of the same frustration over the last, I guess, couple of years at least. But, no, it all worked out real good in the end. Ended up being an awesome game, an awesome night.
And you were ready to tell Gus to kiss your ass, weren't you?
I mean, yes, many times.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. To be fair, though, in the first half, he was doing some of those. And I do want to say this on the radio, or in the press conference, rather. He was saying, I made some bad calls, which is good to hear him say that. Because he did. Time. Yeah, he did make some bad calls. I want to say he had a 3rd and 3 where he ran like a double reverse fake or whatever. Do you remember that one?
I mean, yeah, it gets kind of clogged up in my head over the years, stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. But in general, you're drinking and you're happy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's.
Well, actually, I just quit drinking. I've had enough, but I'm very happy.
Well, that's good, man. What's your big takeaway from this one?
I think it's going to give him some time to get some more experience. Just use the next couple of games, get as many reps as possible, and hopefully we'll go in there against Texas A&M and pick up another one.
Yeah, word. All right, man. Appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Be good. There you go. That's your first call. I forgot to ask who that was. No, I like this. Love the Cat says, the first caller is not drunk enough. Don't you have a screener? Okay, let me tell you about this, buddy. I'm at the Homestead right now. Brian and Nate are both at the stadium. I decided to sit this one back. So I'm here at the house kind of, going solo here. So, no, I don't have a screener. That's what you're asking me. And I don't have anybody to bring me more liquor. I just have what's left here. All right, we got another call coming in. Let's see what's up. Are you guys ready for this? God, I hope it's Rice. What's up, caller? How you doing?
JG, what's going on?
What's up? Who I got here? You from Auburn Sports?
This is MWF 0001.
Oh, you want to fight?
You want to?
Nah, I don't really want to fight you. Not in the mood.
I'm close to your hometown in Oklahoma.
Like right now?
Yes, where I live.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, what did you think about this game tonight?
A little shaky in the first half. Second half, the defense put the clamps down after the giving up a touchdown on whatever it was, the first or second drive.
Yeah.
But I thought Booby had some shades of carry on at times, making plays when there was absolutely nothing there. And I was pretty impressed with Papo and Denson on defense. I thought they were all around the ball all night.
Absolutely. Papo really surprised.
And then, of course, yeah. And then, of course, Bo and Seth. I mean, Bo grew up a lot in that game, I think.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the first half, he was not great. Courtney, thank you for bringing that. My wife has brought me some Old Bardstown, you guys. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Bo was pretty much, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say he was terrible in the first half, but he was just, he's okay. And then I thought in the second half he really settled in and got a whole lot better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't hurt when you finally get the running game going consistently. That was the thing about the game plan in the first half. It was almost like, you want to try and get him settled in by getting the run going, and then it felt like he had at least 20 pass attempts in the first half.
Yeah,
that's a little harsh on even a guy at his 5-star level. That's a little harsh on a true freshman starting his first game against close to a top 10 team.
Hell yeah, I totally agree with you. I thought they were relying on him too much in the first half. Because the first play of the game, when they had a handoff, I was like, okay, he's finally figured this out. He needs to go easy on the freshman. And the next thing you know, he's got like 15 attempts in the first half. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You need to be running the football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. And the bunker agreed with you because the bunker was really pissed at that point.
That's the bunker.
We were already getting the it's time for Gus to go. Who's going to pitch in on the $28 million?
No. It's mostly Gus haters anyways, but you know me, I'm not a Gus hater.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's all Gus haters, but listen, Gus he has been frustrating. I do understand the frustration. I do. What I don't get is just the people who come from this posture of I'm ready for everything to fall apart. Like that's not, to me, that's not cool. But it's okay, whatever.
That kind of makes you a little bit of a fair weather fan, in my opinion.
It's fair.
It's like you either want what's best for the team or you don't.
Yeah.
Whether that be with Gus at the helm or not.
Yeah, I agree completely. All right, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Yep, appreciate it.
You behave yourself out there. See ya.
All right, War Eagle.
There we go. All right, we got 2 calls in. Nobody's said a bad word yet. Love the cats. They said some bad words on the chats, though. Let's say Brian says Gus called a bad game. He absolutely did. I'm not going to necessarily agree with you. And the fact that he said himself that it wasn't the greatest. He made some mistakes in the play calling. I mean, yeah, you don't hear him say that very often. All right, we got another call coming in from the greater Atlanta area. Let's see let's see who we got here. What's up, caller? How you doing?
What's up, J baby? What's up, man?
Where you at?
I am calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
That's where I figured you were from. Are you a bunker member?
I am, yeah. Purple Haze. I'm mainly a lurker, though.
No, I know your gift, man. You've got the dude from Stranger Things, right?
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah, word. So, what'd you think about that game, bro?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I was curious your thoughts about a few things.
Yeah.
Number one, overall, Gus getting back into play calling duties. How he did overall. I thought there were kind of some spots where he got really predictable. Some other spots where he kind of opened it up, especially towards the end, and it was a little better. Second question, how would you grade the O-line play?
All right, Gus is a play caller. I mean, even he said himself he made some mistakes, and I thought they were really hairy, particularly in the first half. I just didn't think the plan made sense. But, I mean, the fact that they got through in the second half, I mean, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't argue with the win. So I think the stretch when Gus was just calling run after run, it was a little infuriating. Kind of reminded me of the LSU game last year.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
I think it kind of gave Bo some time to settle in, and then he was ready to go when his number was called at the end. So,
no doubt. The particular one was when they were running Booby like crazy there. I want to say early fourth quarter, and he was basically trying to tap out of the game. Remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy, and it looked like when he went down that he wasn't injured. He was just so gassed he couldn't get up.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Like he was trying to tap out, and then they called a wildcat play, and he ran the ball again, and he got him down to the 1, and he just was like, dude, I can't move.
Yeah.
And then he went back in the next one.
Then,
offensive line play, you mentioned that earlier. I thought it was average. That's about what I saw.
Yeah, me too. I think it improved a little bit as it went on. I felt like they kind of had some jitters too with all the false starts, which was kind of weird. But I mean, ultimately they kind of got the job done. Kind of sporadic up and down. I felt like wasn't consistent.
Yeah, I agree completely. Offensive line wise, I'd probably give them a C. It was probably a D- in the first half. I thought they were a little bit better in the second half, and good enough. I mean, they won the game, but yeah,
I'd probably give them about a B-, C+ second half. I think
you would think that would be a strength, considering those guys have been playing together for a really long time. That starting 5, but you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was impressed with Oregon's front too. I thought they were pretty quick. They had a surprising amount of athletes up there too.
I do think that Oregon's a pretty good ball club. I mean, that Herbert's pretty good. I mean, I'm not a guy that sits around analyzing the opponents very much until I see them play Auburn, but they look pretty good to me. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Herbert's decent. He didn't wow me, but I mean, just classic senior play. He wasn't going to make any sort of mistake to throw the game away, which kind of worried me. I thought Oregon was just going to find a way to convert to some clock at the end, but fortunately, I think the defense played lights out and still gave up 21. But when you look at the field position they were put into, especially in the first half with those punt returns, I think they did a heck of a job, honestly.
Yeah, special teams, a little bit of a problem there, right?
Yeah, you would think that would. I mean, that's kind of been an issue in the past. So you would think that would be a big point of emphasis and getting corrected. So that was pretty scary. I felt like Sipas was almost out kicking his coverage sometimes. He was really booming it on a few and not putting a ton of hang time on it. Which kickoff team, it's almost like they assume that Carlson is going to drill it through the end zone every time. So it's kind of half-assing it, but
yeah. I mean, for Sipas, he's from Australia, so maybe it's an air difference or circumference of the world or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the wind just kind of blows backwards or something, especially in a dome. I don't know.
Well, Purple Haze, appreciate you calling in, bro. I appreciate you being part of the site, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Behave yourself.
Will do.
That's it. Good stuff there. I'm going to not answer this call right off because I want to go through some of these. Got a lot of folks involved in the chat. I want to see what's going on. AU Taxman, one of my favorite posters. 6 starting running backs only got 3 snaps. Ay. Lewis says Jay's going to be so excited when he checks his voicemails. I don't know. Maybe not. Red says, do several shots of whiskey before you call. I guess you're telling everybody else to call in drunk. That seems like a great idea. Daniel P says, I can't even say some of this stuff. You guys are bad, man. You guys are bad news. Got a lot of calls coming in now. We're good on that. Let's see what else we got. Lewis says he's called 5 times. I wish I could. I don't know which calls. The problem is I have so many coming in, I was hoping that Doc would be able to call in, and I bet he has. But I can't specifically get him through. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Deezy says, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the last drive. Should Gus have gone with the secure field goal, or do you agree with the risk? That's a great question. I mean, the way that it worked out beautifully, right? I mean, Bo Nix consummates that legendary drive with a throw to Seth with a touchdown, and it's going to be one that we remember for a few years for sure, if not longer, depending on how the season works out. But I thought that was a crazy risk. I did. I mean, you're looking at, let me see what I got here on my notes. I actually write some of this stuff down like an old person. So they had 1st and 10 of the 25-ish, something like that, and I thought they were going to play conservatively and let Anders take that field goal. So when they threw the ball, I was like, oh, my God. And I was thinking it would be like an out route or something where he could overthrow it and it would just go out of bounds. That would be that kind of low risk. But I guess the thought was there, the way they taught him on that was, okay, we're going to set him up for a one-on-one. If we get it and you see an advantageous matchup there, just throw it. And let's see what he can do. And keep it high. So that was a risk that they were willing to take. All right, let's take this call right here. Yo, what's up, caller? How you doing?
So they had 1st and 10 of the 25-ish, something like that.
No, you got to turn that down, bro. All I hear is myself.
What's up?
What up, bro?
What's going on?
Are you an AuburnSports.com person?
I am. Yep.
We're glad to have you. What's your handle?
Madimer 40.
What's up, Madimer?
Yeah, not much, man. Just
I know that dude.
Yeah, just enjoying that game tonight.
You're doing a hell of a job with the various things that you do professionally.
Yeah, well, we didn't do so good last night, but it happens.
It can't be perfect every night. What do you think about what went down with the Auburn Tigers tonight?
everybody talks about, Gus taking over play calling and all that. And it wasn't all that different. But at the end of the day, I mean, that true freshman quarterback, he has got it. He has got it, and he overcomes a lot. And they got some skill guys that can do it. The O-line is still a question mark. But, as the game went on, they took over. And that was a little bit of a surprise to me, honestly. I thought it was going to be a little more even throughout. But I feel like they just kind of started to impose their will as the second half went on. And that is huge.
Yeah, because it's tough when you're getting your ass beat in the first half, or really the first quarter, and to kind of turn it around, right?
Right. And that was the whole thing. I mean, I feel like that's sort of been the nature of Gus's regime is to not do that. And at the end of the day, I mean, he did it. They turned it around. And you know what? The players never quit for Gus. And everybody's got a lot to say about him one way or the other. And into the day, I think the kids believe in him, and they play for him, and they play for each other. And that goes a long way.
Yeah, I thought they really rallied in this. I mean, they could have easily just kept on doing their same, not so great that we were seeing in the second quarter and even in the third quarter. But I thought they really did step up in the fourth quarter. They started fighting more, and particularly Whitlow, I think, set a tone.
Absolutely, and I mean, Whitlow was a guy that he was a nothing as far as a running back goes. I mean, the guy was trying to figure it out. Last year it was just like there were no options, and he did it. Yeah, and he's kind of a guy that's figuring it out, and I feel like he's got it, and he's the real deal. He really is, and. But at the end of the day, I mean, as far as running backs go, I mean, they've got some depth, and this is probably the first time, and this is the first time in a long time that they got some guys that can do it, and at the same time, there was a lot of talk about how Gus was going to rotate running backs, and I have to say I was a little bit disappointed in that. Early on, it seemed like that was going to be the case, and then Booby. Once the screws started to turn, once everything was really getting tight, Booby was there. The guy that he trusted, and I get it. But I guess from a fan standpoint, I mean, we don't see it every day. We don't know what those guys look like in practice. Yeah. But I really feel like, hey, there's 4 or 5 guys that honestly have some legitimate skills and have legitimate roles there and have some different sort of some different abilities, and but Gus wants a guy that can carry 25 times, and that's just not every guy, and I think that's kind of to the detriment of guys that can do some other things, like Stivers. I mean, it's just not always going to work out for those guys, and that's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, I mean, when they can carry it 20 times and make it happen, that's a great thing for everybody. But
hey, strategically, did you see anything weird?
At first glance, not really. I mean, it seemed like Auburn. It was Auburn football with Gus for the last few years. Nothing particularly interesting there. There's the wheel routes. There's some zone read. The typical rollout stuff.
So kind of standard Gus stuff.
Look at it.
Yeah,
standard Gus stuff. Absolutely, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, a lot of people. I feel like fans. They see this sort of set of plays, and they think, well. I can see it and I can kind of recognize it very quickly what's going on here. But from a defensive player standpoint, it's not as simple as all that. And so I don't know that that's necessarily a fair deal. Yeah. So as much as we all as fans sort of say, oh, well, that's old hat. We've seen it. Sort of like the jet motion and the behind motion and sort of the double pass sort of look. I mean, yes, that's, we roll our eyes at it, but, as a high school coach, we've thrown off of it, and it's serious stuff, it works. But it's a matter of familiarity, and, at the end of the day, I mean, that's a big deal. And, it's not as simple as saying, oh, I've seen that play before. I've seen that play 10 times before. I've seen a gap dive or whatever people want to call it, inside zone, first down on the hurry up and all that.
Everything's a dive. Yeah, everything's a dive.
Right. That I see that all the time. It's a dive. It's a dive. No, it's not a dive. But at the end of the day, terminology is what it is. Who cares? People recognize the play and they get pissed off at it, and I totally get it. I see what he's trying to do, but it's a tough thing. As a high school coach, somebody that says, I've watched 20 hours of film this week on this team or whatever, and then you have a bunch of people second guessing you, and of course college it's magnified because guys are making tremendously more money and et cetera, et cetera. The pressure is there, but it's very difficult to say those kind of things. It's not a fair comparison. Yeah.
All right, Matt, I'm going to wrap it up. I want everyone to know that you're one of the Hall of Fame posters, though.
I appreciate it.
Guy knows the game.
I've had a little bit too much to drink tonight, so if I've been a little bit
verbose.
You know how it is. It's yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate you calling in, bro.
All right, thank you.
All right, be good, Matimer.
All right, bye. All right.
Matimer's one of the good guys, man. One of the a very successful high school coach here in the state, and he has been known graciously to help me behind the scenes a little bit when I don't understand a particular concept, and he'll help me out a little bit on that. So we thank Matimer a whole lot for that, and he's really good at what he does. Let's see, we got any more on the text? I got a bunch of calls coming in. Let me just take a break on that one real quick. Pistachio, appreciate you. Pistachio's here when there's nobody else here. So thank you for your support all the time, Pistachio. Dope did that. Super producer says Oregon is a really good team. I appreciate the win for sure, but Bo and Gus, please, Lord, tighten up. I understand that. And Bo is going to tighten up, man. I think the fact that he goes in there in his first game at college and he's able to pull these things off tells you a little bit about what you can expect from somebody like that. I think he's a really special talent, and I mean, that's a legendary drive, you guys. I mean, it's not Bo over the top, but it's still really, really, really good. So, I don't know. Keep that in mind. Keep that, because there were some times there during the game, we had a little game tracker up on the YouTube, and some folks are like, oh, we need put the other quarterback in. And it's like, well, hold on. Give him a minute to just kind of get going. Come on. He hasn't ever played before. And considering that fact, I thought he was pretty good. All right, we're going to go ahead and take another call. The next one that comes in, we're going to take it. Okay, here it comes. Let's see what we got here. Yo, what's up, caller? How you doing?
How you doing? Good.
So what up?
Yeah, I was just watching the post-game stream online.
Yes.
And found the phone number to call in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I've been willing to give you a Popeye's chicken sandwich if you can answer a trivia question.
Okay.
All right, who's Bo Nix's dad?
Patrick Nix.
Nah, shit, we're out, dude. I can't give you one, but I'll give you one later.
Can you give me a Chick-fil-A sandwich?
No, I wouldn't do that. That's just normal. You can get that anytime. Are you a AuburnSports.com person?
I'm not.
Okay, you should be.
Okay. Yeah. I just saw the stream pop up on my YouTube.
Yeah, cool. Glad to have you. What did you think about the game?
I thought it was a good game. I thought they fought back really nicely. It kind of reminded me of the Auburn teams of old that were resilient. And I'm pretty impressed with the Nix and not folding under pressure.
Oh, he didn't. You're right. I was surprised.
Yeah.
He was a little anxious there in the first half. I thought he was trying to get away wide too often, instead of stepping up in the pocket. But he was better about it in the second half, I thought.
Right. Yeah, and I think enough times he was also able to create with his legs, and I think that made a pretty big difference on a couple occasions. Obviously, the fourth down conversion, but
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. You got a pretty good feeling for the season now. Does this change your outlook for what you think they can accomplish this year?
I mean, I was pretty optimistic coming into this game, and I'm still optimistic. Now. I feel better in terms of our linebacking core and our rush defense. I was pretty worried about that, actually. And KJ Brett really impressed me. He made a ton of plays, and so that impressed me. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I think Nix is going to be a pretty good quarterback, especially if the offensive line can continue to improve and protect him well. He made some pretty big time throws.
Absolutely, made some really big ones there late, didn't he?
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Well, listen, I think you should subscribe to AuburnSports.com. Check us out. You know where to find us.
Thank
you for calling.
All right. Thank you.
See ya. You seem like a nice chap. Kind of like our subscribers, though. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just partial, just because you guys know, those of you who are subscribers. I want to ask Lewis to call in again. I have no idea what your number is, but let me pretend like I know it. I'd love to have you on. I'm sure you're tub timing it, and see what's going on. Anything else going on here? He did bring up a good point. The linebackers were pretty good. KJ was a little bit better than I expected, and Papo. Hate to say that he was better than I expected, because a couple coaches were telling me before the game that kid was absolutely ridiculous. And I didn't want to go with it because I've heard that before. Yeah, coaches say that sometimes, and I'm just skeptical. And I had no data on Owen Papo just because he just got here, And I guess they were right. I tried to ask Carnell about it. Because, see, so a defensive coach will tell me something, and I'm like, okay, whatever, because I've heard that. So I try to, slyly ask an offensive coach about it and see what he says. Because I can almost tell right away if that offensive coach, really thinks the kid's good, or is just kind of who told you that? You know what I mean, to play along. And when I asked Lack about it, he kind of was like, yeah, that dude's really good. So I was guessing that Lack had remembered some really gnarly hits that maybe Papo had levied on some of his kids, and that made me think, Papo was going to be really good. I think that's what you're going to see going forward. You're going to see Tud at the nickel. KJ and Papo are going to be your two guys with Wooten, and I guess Zacoby. Zacoby I thought he made some bad plays early in the game. Not as much in the second half, but I didn't see him out there as much in the second half. A lot of notifications popping up on my computer because BMAT uploaded a video. I think he uploaded the Malzahn video and also a Bo Nix video, I think. So I'm not able to see them right now. But, yeah, those things are up there for your perusal, and I will get those on the bunker as soon as I can. I'm going to take this call right here and see what happens. Yo, what's up, caller? How you doing?
Hey, Latino voice.
What's up, man?
Hey, this is Lewis. What's going on, man?
Oh, did I get you for real?
You got me for real.
Oh, man, I thought you were trolling me, bro. I'm glad to have you on here, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I mean, I've just been doing this show and waiting on your tubby time. I saw it the other night. Last night.
Yeah. How about Bo calling his own audible on that Pass the Stove?
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Have you talked about that yet? I've kind of been in and out.
In and out of consciousness, or what?
Yeah, that too.
Yes, that drive with Stove. Let's see, the Stove had the end around for a big gainer, and then he caught the pass on I think Oregon was all frenetic and couldn't get set up, and he was by himself, right?
Yeah, so on that pass, it looked like it was supposed to be a run play, and Bo just decided he was going to chuck it out to the left.
I'm going to be interested to ask Gus about that tomorrow and see what he says. Yeah, it looked that way to me too, but I don't want to give him. I don't want to go out of the way on that because I just don't know. But Gus will tell me, I would imagine, if I ask nicely. What were your thoughts in
Okay.
general of that game, man? Pretty fired up about how it finished?
Yeah, I love the finish.
Of course.
Not so much everything maybe before the second half of the third quarter.
Yeah.
I
mean, were you ready to fire Gus at one point? Yeah, you were.
I don't know. I don't really go that far. There was a point where I was super depressed.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, people's jobs don't really come down to what I think. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I was getting pretty down, especially that first drive of the third quarter.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, that because I thought for sure we were going to come out and maybe put something together because I felt like the defense was starting to show up.
Yeah, they got into a 3rd and 16 on that one, and then Gus called like a keeper, a very conservative play, and then they end up punting. I was like, yeah. It's not great.
Yeah. What you drinking?
Currently? Well, I've been trying to water myself up, but as far as liquor goes, I'm drinking this Old Bardstown Bottled in Bond, which it's really good to me. It's about $18 a bottle. It's 100 proof. And it gets the job done.
Yeah, I'm drinking some Old Forester.
Ooh.
I think I got it like $21 at Sam's.
Which kind is it?
Oh crap! I'm trying to not cuss on the air.
It's okay if you have to let one go every now and then. I mean, it's probably late for kids anyway. It's 1:11 on the Eastern time zone.
Well, I mean, some of these people on here, their kids are probably up all time.
Well, yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah. It's just regular Old Forester, I guess.
Okay. Well, that's good too. I went to an Old Forester tasting the other day. It's a true story.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mentioned it in my I can't remember what it was. Was it the rundown maybe? No, it was the G Pits. It was G Pits. But anyway, we had a tasting up here at my local watering hole.
I've definitely been checking in with the G Pits.
We had
we
had an Old Forester like regional rep come, and he brought like 4 different kinds of Old Forester, and then we drank that. And I wanted more, but I didn't want to pay for it, and so I had an empty seat next to me, and I told the chick that was a guy named Ralph who was with me, but he was just in the bathroom. Could she go ahead and pour them? And so she poured 4 shots for Ralph too, and then I drank those 2. It happens, man.
Well, Ralph is awesome then.
49 minutes to midnight says that we're both poors because we drink Old Forester. That is not true. I completely disagree with that.
No, I'm middle class poor.
That's fine, man. We're all poor at our own level. Lewis, I want to tell you this. We all enjoy Tubby Time, and we're glad to have you at auburnsports.com.
Well, everyone except for, it seems, Aloe Vertical. He seems to hate it.
He doesn't like you, or he doesn't like the site?
He hates Tub Time.
Okay, well, dude, there's always going to be somebody that hates anything you do. I mean, if you're giving away free money, there's going to be people that are pissed about it. I mean, it happens.
Well, I'll take the free money, but yeah, I'm in my backyard right now, actually.
I'm not surprised. AU Taxman says the 1920 Old Forester is great. I think I had that, but that's not what we're drinking tonight. Lewis, you take care of yourself out there, brother, okay?
All right, love you, bro.
See you, bro. That was good stuff. Glad we were able to get Lewis through here. We've got like 30 voice messages on here, guys. You don't have to leave voice messages because if I'm going to listen to it, it's going to be later. We're not going to do it on the show because God knows what you guys are going to say. Chase asks me, Jay, how is McCready doing after his boy Matt Luke went down? Yeah, I haven't checked in with Neil yet. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was appropriate. I have been I texted a bunch with my friend Gabe, who had a really rough time. So my friend Gabe covers Missouri, and they had to play at Wyoming, which you guys, I'm sure you know because you're watching the game and they lost, but I'm sure they lost. But he had the hardest time. He was trying to get out, and he couldn't get out until this morning, and then he flew to Chicago, and then he had to fly to Denver, and then he had to drive to Laramie. and I was like trying to keep up with him just to kind of keep his spirits up. But they made it like 20 minutes before kickoff, only to see Missouri get their ass beat. But, you know, it happens sometimes. I mean, you go to Laramie. That's why I told him. I warned him. So Laramie's a tough place. It's hard out here for a pimp. We're going to take this call right here for the Birmingham area. Let's see who this is. Yo, what's up, caller? How you doing?
How you doing, JG?
What up?
Hey, you like some chapstick, don't you, bro?
Yeah, that's something that kind of came on these last 5 or 6 years. I just can't deal with dry lips. Are you an AuburnSports.com person?
I am.
What's your handle?
WDE 1978.
Are you the one that called me a dick the other day?
Definitely not.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
I may be mean sometimes, but I'm usually a pretty nice person.
Okay, I can stand for that. What'd you think about the game, man?
Well, my main thing was just giving the bunkers some perspective, because we tend to overreact to these kind of things, and I think that honestly, when you consider that Bo Nix has now got 60 minutes of college football under his belt, we're set up pretty well for the future.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, I think people are being too harsh on him to say, "Oh, he's screwing this stuff up." Dude, they knew that this was going to be a process.
He showed some big time poise, and I love Booby's quote after the game, just talking to it just kind of shows that Bo's the man, and he knows it. So, I mean, there's a lot to work on, but man, you play a team that's a top 10 team in the country, and you come away with a win. There's a lot to be happy about.
What do you think Joey Gatewood's reaction is going to be to this?
I just don't know what kind of team player he is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd love to keep him around, because obviously he's one play away from being a starting quarterback. But you have to think that if he has bigger aspirations, that's going to be tough for him to sit there on the sideline and watch it all happen.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I don't know. I'm encouraged. I'm excited about the future. I think we have a freaking hard schedule, so that's going to make it hard.
Yes. So you got A&M in 3 weeks, right?
I mean, it's just one hit after the next.
Yeah,
then playing Florida on the road. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard. I'm curious that I've kind of been in and out on this broadcast.
Sure.
Have we talked any about Jimpty?
Oh, no, I haven't brought that up, but I'm willing to do it. Do you have a strong take on this?
No, I just think it's amazing that he hasn't surfaced.
Yeah, I know. He's not really jumping into the bunker. So for folks who are not familiar with this, we had a member sell another member some tickets to the A&M game last year. And then allegedly, again, I've not really gotten to the bottom of this yet, but I don't think the guy who used the tickets did not pay for the tickets. And he's kind of given a series of, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today kind of thing. And now it's kind of gotten out on the board, but the guy has not defended himself, right? I mean, you think he would jump up and say something.
I mean, say something.
Yeah, right. I mean, your honor is being besmirched.
It has been comedy gold reading these posts, so it's been pretty funny.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling in and being part of what we do at AuburnSports.com, man.
Love it, man.
All right, take care. I didn't mean to cut him off that fast. Sorry. Let's see what else we got here. Red says, "Can you share the Auburn Sports business address so we can mail you more chapstick?" Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm good. Actually, my friend Linda, who shoots the games for ITAT, she gave me a bag last year of like 75 things of chapstick, because we always joke with each other about if I would borrow her chapstick or she would borrow mine. And a lot of people think it's weird that you would borrow somebody else's chapstick, but I just felt normal with Linda. Her name's Linda Pond. You guys might have noticed her pictures at ITAT. I guess I'm not supposed to talk about ITAT because they're technically the competition. But look, man, Jason and Mark, I mean, they're friends of mine. Particularly Jason's like a brother to me. So, I mean, I love those guys. I love them. So, I mean, I feel like you guys could all subscribe to a couple sites anyway. Because it's like, I love Jason. He's like a brother to me. Philip's like my uncle, and I love Philip. I am so defensive of Philip. I love those guys. They do a good job. Come on, guys, really. I don't even know why I'm getting to this. All right, we got more calls coming in. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to take this one because that was going to be a Montgomery area person. Since I'm Montgomery area, I'll take this one right here. Let's see, 706. What's up, caller? How you doing?
Jay, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, War Eagle PC.
Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you taking my call.
So what'd you think about this, huh?
Well, I mean, you know, Bo looked pretty bad in the first half.
Yeah.
But looked a lot better in the second half.
He
my
it's pretty impressive second half. Yeah.
Yeah, my big concern was the D line.
Yeah, fair concern. Not very good until later in the game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of porous. I thought that would be the part of the game that with Auburn would really dominate. And I think as the game went on, they did start dominating there, but it took a while. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I expected like 6 sacks on Herbert today, but
yeah, I think they had 2 maybe officially, and maybe another stop that was right at the line of scrimmage, so that might have been a third. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean a win is a win, so I'm happy with that. But you know, I wanted to see a lot more from the defense.
Yeah, I understand that. They were kind of poor, I thought, at times in the first half, but they bowed up there in the second half.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they did. Does this win change your feelings about what they're going to do this year?
I mean, you know, I go in every season expecting 8-4.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I'm cautiously optimistic.
You were expecting Gus to start gussing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I was expecting Gus to Gus.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I'm not gonna go ahead and say right now that Auburn's gonna win the West, but I feel a little bit better than I did a week ago.
Well, that's good. I mean, I think that's a fair response to that.
No, for sure.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Jay, I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Figure out how to bump out of that one. We are getting inundated with calls, though. I love it, man. I'd love to get to all y'all. I mean, we'll stay on here as long as we got to stay. Let me see if we got any other questions on here. Bring me my dang chapstick. What? I got it right here, bro. You know, I always got one here. And like I said, Linda hooked me up with like 75 in the fall. I've gone through like 30 of them. Lewis asking me, do I like redheads? Do you dig that thread? So we have a thread on the bunker. I bet you that thing has 100 pages now, if not more. I don't know. I mean, I just know it's like our biggest one. And people just post pictures of girls. And I don't even know if it's really strictly redheads anymore. And the answer is not really, because my sister was a redhead, and it just kind of, I don't know. I think anybody that has a sister who's a redhead, you're just not really feeling that. So anyway, let's see what else we got here. Brian says DL struggles early, but no sacks because they were giving up 3 to 5 yard routes. It's fair. I mean, it's like Oregon was kind of game planning to not give up sacks. You had the rolling pocket early, a lot of quick throws. There were some, 5 and 7 step drops later in the game, but they got to Herbert on some of them, and others they didn't. They did pretty good. See what else we got here. Chase says Wee Willie Hastings is going to have himself a great year and then catch bombs from Stidham on the Patriots. I would be not surprised to see that happen, actually. I was concerned because Wee Willie was out the last quarter of that game, I think. And I have not gotten word yet from my sources on the team. Something has happened here. No. On what's going on with Wee Willie. So I don't know if he's tweaked that knee or if it was just something the precautionary and they didn't feel like they needed him in that last drive. I need to find out. But Wee Willie was a pretty big part of what they were doing today, honestly. Let's see what else we got. Paul says we wore Oregon down and gained an advantage physically at the end. Absolutely agree. And against some SEC teams, we can't rely on that. I agree completely. I mean, the next big challenge is going to be A&M at their place, 3 weeks from now? And that gives you some time to work on some things and get stronger. And I was really surprised to see. Did you guys see Jaron Handy in there? It was one of those clutch drives, fourth quarter. And Jaron Handy played like the entire drive. And I'm guessing that's because TD did not have a good game again. We keep getting told that he's having this great camp, and then he goes in there to play and gets pushed around a little bit. I thought he gave up on some plays, too. I bet he ends up getting busted for some loafs. I'm going to take this call from the Montgomery area code because I'm a Montgomery guy myself. What's up, caller? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, JG?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely. Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
I am. I go by the not-so-e-persona MD Harrell.
Oh, what up, man?
Not much, man. Just chilling in Vincent.
It's good to talk to you straight up, bro.
Yes, definitely. I haven't been able to make a bunker lunch yet.
Yeah, it's okay. You had a suggestion for me earlier today that I thought was a good one, but I forgot what it was. Do you remember what it is?
So by earlier today, do you mean earlier on this broadcast?
No, like earlier today, as in like when the sun was up.
Oh, my.
I don't remember what it was. Something that I'll go back and find it at some point. But
okay.
I know I can rely on you to bring it to me straight. I know that.
Hey, man, that's what I try to do. I try not to be a e-persona, but, I try to just deal straight, deal with facts, not be emotional.
Yeah.
Used to have a hard time with that, but that's no good.
No, it's cool. What did you think about the game, man? You pretty fired up about Bo Nix?
Well, yeah, most definitely. And, I think my first hot take of the year was this is not Uncle Chip's Oregon anymore.
I got my cat here with me.
They definitely. Okay.
Look at my cat, man. This is Sammy right here. Say what's up, Sammy. What's up,
Sweet.
bro?
Is that as in Hagar?
No, that's just some goofy name I came up with. I don't know. He's pretty cool, though.
It'd be cooler if you told him Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, except I don't like him. I like David Lee Roth. I'm sorry. I don't apologize for it, though. Never mind. I just did.
Yeah, that's all right.
This win against Oregon, does it change your thoughts about what they can do this season? Are you more optimistic than you were maybe yesterday?
Well, I think that the spring and, leading up to this game, the fall camp and everything kind of built a bulwark against the doom and gloom tides.
Yes.
But I gotta be honest with you. I was, there were some cracks happening there in the first half, and it was getting harder and harder to, pump a little sunshine. But, I still think that Gus can be really given the benefit of the doubt. I think you still got to prove it. Ultimately, I was I honestly thought in the first half that, my final take was going to be that this loss wasn't on Gus necessarily.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he was really, getting in the way too much. I mean, he obviously still has his quirks and his issues to iron out. You're hoping after 6 years, but that's the tease, right? This is going to be the year. The on-the-job training is over. We're going to just blossom, and everything's going to be, sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind of thought going into the season, honestly, my personal feeling was that he has or had, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it now after this first hump getting over, but I felt like he had two missteps, before basically signing his own death warrant, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, I thought if he laid an egg in game one, that was going to ratchet the heat up. And then if he laid an egg, an amen corner or A&M, against LSU, et cetera. Yeah. But hey, he's, like I said a while ago, before the cat jumped in, this wasn't your Uncle Chip's Oregon team. This was, I think, a bona fide team, legit talented, nasty attitude. I think we saw that, quite a bit displayed, when they weren't able to just run through Auburn. They started getting a little chippy, it seemed like. So, I was impressed, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a big win for them. And
I did want to ask.
That last drive was just something I think we'll remember for a long time.
Oh, most definitely. I was able to watch that with my son, so that was awesome. Get him indoctrinated. Get him further indoctrinated into Auburn culture. Even though I have to confess, I am a sidewalk, so I don't quite have the platinum level membership as a sidewalk. I'm kind of like outside Toomers, face pressed against the glass, kind of situation. But yeah, I think it was a really good win. I was going to ask you real quick.
Yeah.
During the game, they showed a graphic of Bo Nix compared to like other starting true freshmen, Boise State's quarterback, North Carolina's quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Both had. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was maybe one other guy. Anyway, Nix's numbers were way off. But I was going to ask you, is that more of a function of individual difference, or do you think it's just a function of the offense, that it is what it is?
That's a great question. When that graphic came up on ESPN, I started getting a few emails from some coaching friends that were kind of mocking Gus and saying, look, if Boise State can coax those kinds of numbers out of their guy and North Carolina can coax those kinds of numbers out of their guy, why can't Gus do that? But, I mean, dude, Florida State's terrible, right? They're absolutely balls. And I don't think Oregon is. So, yeah, did Gus manage that game perfectly? No. I don't think it was an exquisite performance from a play-calling perspective. But, hey, I mean, Bo got better, and they stuck with things that Bo felt comfortable throwing, and he made the plays when it mattered.
I know it's dangerous to reference any kind of bunker commentary during a game, but one continual theme that we've had is kind of dumping on Kevin Steele, the defense. But I feel like that one reason for that is because for one, I think fans want that generational 2000 Ravens type lockdown elite defense, and they. Which I was going to ask you about Javaris Davis's non-play on that pass in the end zone.
Yuck. Yeah,
so
that was
maybe
bad.
We come back to that.
That was bad.
But, I think that with Gus, it's the margins for error are so thin that it is a lot on the defense. And so I just think that, 21 points is not bad. It's not terrible defense.
No, it's not.
It's not elite.
Yeah, they had a couple missteps there in the first half. I thought that, like you said, the pass that JD did not defend very well against the tight end was pretty bad. But they tightened up. They tightened up, and the defensive line played better, and the linebackers, I thought, particularly Peppo, got more into the rhythm. So,
yeah.
MD Harrell, listen, man,
hey, man,
you're an absolute titan, dude. I appreciate you calling in.
Well, I appreciate the love, and I'm eking out barely a 1-to-1 ratio because I don't do the bubes and the other stuff, but I made it, so I do have some claim to fame, I guess.
You're doing a hell of a job. Appreciate you being here at Auburn Sports, man.
All right, man. Thanks, JG. I'm a big fan. I appreciate what y'all do.
All right, you be good. All right.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Good stuff there. An 8-minute call from MD Harrell. Like that guy. He's always hanging around. He's kind of a straight shooter, but we got to have people like that. Let's see what else we got here. Lewis agrees with me that Sammy Hagar sucks. I don't hate Sammy Hagar. I just think that, like, Van Halen went down the tubes when, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just thought stuff was better before. Let's see. 1984 was the last good album, right? And then 5150 was in 86, and it was like, Like, let's see, I'm in 8th grade, and Why Can't This Be Love comes out, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound anything like Panama or I'll Wait or Jump. It sounds goofy, and I wasn't very stoked about it. So, I mean, if you guys are out there and you're Van Hagar fans, dude, I'm not hating. Just not my thing. We still got a bunch of calls coming through. I'd like to get some of these messages we're getting. We got a bunch of stuff's really lit here on the commenting area. Lewis still talking about how I referred to him as a brain-eating amoeba. I didn't actually say you were a brain-eating amoeba. I just said you were an amoeba, and you were going to do bad things to people. Suburban Outfitters asks, did Hastings get hurt? Yes, he did. I just don't know if he was like seriously hurt or not. I don't think he was. I mean, but I don't know the answer on that. I need to get some clarification. We'll be there tomorrow. I will be there tomorrow. I'll feel naked though, because B-Matt is not going to be back and Nate will not be back. So it's going to be me solo tomorrow at Auburn, but you guys have to bear with me a little bit because I'm slow. Let's see. Hack says, where was JJ Willis? I don't know who that is right off. It's probably a joke, and I just don't get it. Lovecat says, Jay, has anyone ever told you your melon is large? Not. It's actually not. I wear it. Well, I mean, it's 7.5 is what I wear. But my friend Kirk, who's the Auburn SID, he wears an 8. I call him slabhead because his head is just like this massive, like, piece of lettuce. But I don't think a 7.5 is particularly big. I don't know. Glenn says Van Halen made 3 times as much money with Hagar. Yeah, because they were relying on the greatness of Van Halen 1, Diver Down, 84, maybe some of the songs from Van Halen 2 and Women and Children First. I don't know. I need to have Will Collier here with me for this one. We got a call coming in from the Atlanta area. Let's see what's up here. What's up, caller? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful, man. This is Dope Did that. Thank you for picking up my call.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Just got to make sure you hit mute. I think you did, actually, because I could hear myself in the background there for a minute.
No problem.
Are you an AuburnSports.com person?
I am not. I'm fresh to the channel, man.
All right, cool. I appreciate you calling in anyway. You got to be sure and subscribe if you are so inclined. What do you think about that game, man?
Man, it was one of those. I think we've seen a lot of them over the past few years. I think Bo's throwing motion was a lot slower than what I would have liked.
Yeah,
and that put us in a couple predicaments that weren't good for us. He did underthrow the game winner, so I can't just give him a hand clap for that.
That's true.
Our defense was really good. Kevin Steele, he deserves a beer for the night. You understand?
Yeah.
Carson, he's not as good as his brother. So I think that's why we went on ahead and went for the touchdown. Other than that, man, I've been an Auburn fan since '85. My father was an Auburn fan, and when I was born, I was all War Eagle.
Damn, all right. That's a long time to be in there.
Hey, man, I've been there, man.
You noted something there that I noticed during the game is that Bo's release is kind of slow, or it seems that way to me. I don't know if it's just maybe the angle of his arm or something, but I mean, I don't know if that had to do with him underthrowing the ball, but you're right. The game-winning throw was underthrown, and then the throw to Sal Cannella on the third down, which it could have been a completion, was underthrown as well, and he had a few other ones too. And then he overthrew Seth a couple times too. So
yeah, man. And I'm not trying to rag on Bo. I appreciate our freshman quarterback. It's growing pains, but at the same time, I just don't want it to be at our expense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you come into this game did you feel good about Gus?
I haven't felt good about Gus for about
a long time,
4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
it's been a long time, man. Gus is a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach, and I still question his OC duties. So, I think we've all wanted Gus out for a few years now, but we have him until he gets brought out. As long as he keeps winning, hey, man, you can keep the job.
Until he gets bought out. Yeah, I think you're about right on that, for real.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Yeah, defensively, man, I thought they were getting hit up front a little bit. First half, man. I thought the defensive line was going to be like the strongest thing Auburn had out there, and I thought they were getting pushed around a little bit there in the first half, but they tightened up.
I think they got caught up in the hype, man. I think all week that's all everyone talked about was our defense and our defensive line, and we know how good we are. And sometimes we can underperform just because of that. But like one of your callers said before, we wore them down. And this is a 4-quarter game. And that's something that the Pac-12 or Pac-18 just don't understand, man.
Yeah.
War Eagle.
Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in. Check us out at AuburnSports.com if you're looking for a good time.
For sure, man. I'm subscribing right now. Thank you, JG.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
See ya. It's good stuff there. If we really get a new subscriber out of that, that'd be awesome. Let me see what else we got here. The calls are probably going to slow down because it's getting late now. We're at 1:39 in the Eastern time zone, 12:39 here in God's country. We got some questions. Here's a really good question. Kai wants to know, will Knicks have trouble getting laid? My guess is no. I don't know his current situation on that. He hadn't answered my text yet. Oh, wait, no. Oh, hold on. No. But I don't think so, no. Tyler wants to know, I think J.J. Wilson will have a bigger role from now on. I was really surprised by that. I thought J.J. Wilson, in fact, I know that he had a really good camp, and he was, at one point, he was their most reliable pass catcher, and he hadn't dropped a pass in like 8 consecutive practices. They were all just like astounded. And sorry, I was having to deal with the text there. And then we go out there, and he probably played, I'm just guessing, 5 snaps maybe. And they were using Spencer Nye more. Schenker had more. And J.J. Wilson really wasn't much of a factor. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not in trouble or anything. I just think maybe they wanted a little bit more beef, the kind of beef that Spencer Nye can bring in the run game. And then Sal was playing that kind of big inside role, and they were going to throw the ball to him. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. The Sal throw was not underthrown. The defender grabbed him and would not let Sal drift back to it. I think it's fair. I would have probably thrown a flag on that one. And because he had his hand around Sal's hip and was kind of pulling him back, although Sal was kind of on his way back anyway. I mean, a lot of times on the bunker, people lose their mind over particular PI calls or non-calls. And to me, and ironically, it's Tuberville who got me thinking this way. Because when I was a young reporter, I used to bitch constantly about calls, and I felt like the officials screwed things up all the time. And so this is years ago when you could talk to coaches, and I would go in and talk to Tommy in his office on Sundays or Tuesdays. And I'd be like, this call or this non-call was bullshit. And he would be like, dude, no, I didn't think it was that bad. And Tuberville's dad was an official, like a fairly big time official for what he was doing. He was doing high school stuff in Arkansas. And so Tub would always I think privately he would take up for the officials, although behind a podium or a lectern, he would be like, we got screwed, but then I'd talk to him privately and he'd be like, you got to give those guys a break. Now, if they had screwed something up legitimately, he would, he'd raise hell about it. But a lot of times he kind of taught me to be more just kind of easygoing on the officials. And so now when I see people on the bunker or on Twitter just like fussing about every single call, I don't know. I just don't really buy into that. It's not my thing. Let's see. Hayes, this is not a very nice thing to say. It says, JGT, will you personally escort Bo to the dermatologist? He's got a sweaty helmet syndrome. He is young, and he's probably going to get sweatier as we move along. So it's just something he's going to have to deal with. All right, I'm going to take this call. It's coming in from the Montgomery area code because I'm myself a Montgomery guy. What's up, caller? How you doing?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Appreciate you being part of the show at this late hour.
Hey, no problem. Glad to be on.
Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah. What's your handle?
Network Quan.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother?
How you been?
Man, I've been lovely, man. Just trying to recuperate from near heart failure after the game.
Yeah, that was yeah, man. That last drive was scary, man.
Absolutely, but it's unfortunately something we've become accustomed to. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it fair? I've been saying on the show here for the last hour, so it was a pretty legendary drive. Do you think it was a legendary drive?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see the freshmen come in there, kind of live up to the expectations after having a rough game, and then he makes that last drive, and it brings up memories of his dad to Frank Sanders, man. So yeah, it's definitely up there in the lore for sure.
Yeah, I thought he was great, man, and it was just you could just watch him getting better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you did. I mean, his confidence grew on that last drive. I mean, just to have the guts to try to go for that 4th and 3 and then convert, and then the pass to Seth Williams on the sideline, and then you go for the kill right there at the end. I was surprised that Gus went with that call as well.
Yeah, couldn't believe he threw it. I mean, I thought it was going to be a little 7-yard hitch or something to get out of bounds, and then they went for it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I mean, it was lovely. I was thinking like he's going to the sideline, get out of bounds, go kick the field goal, and you go for the touchdown, and boom, end of the game.
End of the game. Who stuck out for you defensively? Anybody really drop your jaw a little bit on that?
I like Papo's speed. I mean, he showed up on television, definitely. Let's see who else. I think all the linebackers. I mean, they really showed up, definitely. And Truesdale, I like to see Truesdale get in there and make a name for himself. I was proud of that kid.
Yeah, I've been hard on Truesdale, man, but they were running right at him. I want to say it was the 4th and inches play. They ran at his gap, and he stuffed it up. And I think I can't remember who had the first lick there. It might have been KJ, but Truesdale really held his own. And I've been tough on Truesdale, particularly on the rundown. I said I didn't think he was going to be like a primetime player, but he played pretty damn good tonight. I'll give you that.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to see it work out for him for sure because he's been putting in the work.
Quan, I appreciate you giving me a call, bro, and being part of the site.
Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for having me.
See you, man.
All right, bye.
Quan's one of the good guys, man. For sure. Been with us a while here at AuburnSports.com. And, Montgomery guy. Kai says, just subscribe. Appreciate the answer. If that's true, I'm pretty stoked about it. Appreciate you saying so. And being part of this is our first ever call-in show. Post-game. In fact, really, it's the only call-in show. I did the interview with Doc Dumpster one time that Jeremy Johnson hated so much and said, why are y'all ever doing that? But, yeah. I thought it went all right. Let's see what else we got here. Chase says, does Christian Tutt have the best hair on the team? That's a good question. It did look pretty good tonight. He has a little bit of amplification, I think. That's good stuff. Lewis says, HUNH stands for Help Us Never Hurry. I came with one early. I thought it was pretty funny. Somebody said that on the bunker said that they were looking forward to Gus picking his nose tonight, and I said it was hurry up, no muddle. Because, when you muddle something in the bar, kind of poking at it and pushing at it. I saw him a few times tonight doing this stuff. I don't really know what he's doing. I don't think he's picking his nose. He's just kind of grabbing at it. I don't know. David wants to know the status of Tega. I think he's okay. He's been dealing with a problem in that knee the whole way through, and I think it was just going to be a situation where he wasn't making it worse by playing on it, and he's just going to have to kind of fight through it the whole way through. So that's what it was. Bailey Sharp was in there, but I think Prince Tega came back in the game. I was not doing personnel scouts at that point, but I think he came back in. Red singing the praises of KJ Britt, who I thought had a good game. Will says, B. Marcello is my pimp, but you winning me over JG. Hey, Brandon's a good guy too, man. Does a good job over there. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that on Twitter when Brandon and B-Matt went at it a little bit early in the year. No, it was I guess it was in December. They got the hatchet buried though. B-Matt's a good guy. So was Brandon. Let's see. Charles says, AU fans forget that Gus wasn't calling the plays for the last few years. The bowl game showed what he can do. I pray we can play better the rest of the year. I mean, surely they're going to get better. There's no doubt about it. We're going to probably make this the last call of the night. It's getting pretty late for me. Let's take this one in. It's coming from the Birmingham area code. Hey, what's up, caller? How you doing?
What's up, Jay?
How you doing? You got to put that bad boy on mute. Are you good?
Okay. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Are you an AuburnSports.com subscriber?
I am. This
All
is
right.
Power Man.
Who are you?
Power Man.
Power Man, what up, bro?
Hey, man.
I haven't talked to you. Golly, it's been a minute, I guess.
Yeah, it has been. I'm in a Fort Worth hotel room.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
It's probably 12:49 in the a.m. where you are.
That's correct. Hey, the linebackers were dramatically better. I was at the game, so it was hard to kind of see things. But
yes, let me give you a lamp. Let me give you a lamp. Fireworks there.
Understood. Little Miss Power Man had a blast. Went to game day and all that kind of stuff today too.
That's good stuff.
I thought the linebackers were dramatically better. We actually have difference makers at linebacker now, which is different from in the last couple of years, which is really, really good. I thought Bo performed exactly like I thought a freshman quarterback would perform until the last pass, which was fantastic. Anyway, I don't know. I thought it was good. We can either, similar to Washington last year, we'll either get better or we'll get worse.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah. I thought Bo really, man, I thought that last drive, man, he made some real plays.
Yep.
Let me ask you this though. Go ahead. I'm here to answer your question. So go ahead.
So when Bo was not running at all and they were just giving it to Booby, are those straight gives or are there any reads to them?
I think those are straight gives. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it looked like.
I didn't really notice a lot of zone read outside of the first quarter, but I'm gonna have to go back and look at that and try to pull up some stuff because we're going to be doing the camera eye and whatnot. So I'll take a closer look at that.
Yeah, it looked like gives. It looked like gives to me anyway.
What was it like in the stadium, man? I mean, did Auburn have like a majority presence in there?
Yeah, so I watched tickets on StubHub all week, and I bought them on Wednesday, and I sat in section 205, and they were $100 cheaper from the exact section on the opposite side of the stadium. I couldn't figure out why. Well, I was sitting in the middle of the Oregon section, so I was on about the 5-yard line. On the end zone where the touchdown was at the end of the game, but I was facing the Auburn section, so it was really cool to see. The stadium's not a loud stadium. I mean, it is, it's a social stadium. It's not loud. I was nervous at first at how it would look on TV. Auburn certainly did its part with buying tickets, but I think I couldn't tell what was above me. I was on the mezzanine deck. I couldn't tell what was above me on the Oregon side.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was Auburn certainly turned out.
Did you have trouble getting out there as far as just plane flights and whatnot?
No, I drove, which was so my daughter loves Texas. So she's a 9-year-old. She's kind of got this weird thing about Texas. So we're doing some Texas stuff. So we drove out here yesterday, and we're going to do some stuff around here tomorrow, and then drive back and have a sleepover in Shreveport before we head home.
Beautiful Shreveport.
No, we didn't have any trouble when game day was down here right next to us. So went and did that. So that was cool. Got to see Gus on stage.
There's no doubt.
There's no doubt.
Do you? So your thoughts about this team? I mean, are you more positive about it now than you were before this game?
Kinda. I like the linebackers. I think that's kind of different to have difference makers there.
Yeah.
I never really thought, and I made a post about it. I didn't buy into the defensive line being some dominant. We didn't get a pass rush. I got killed in the bunker for this, but I never thought we got a good pass rush with the front four. With the when we didn't bring pressure last year, and so the same guys, are they going to get pressure this year? Derek Brown was awesome today, and he'd whip his guy all the time. But if everybody else didn't, then they can kind of run by his penetration. So I don't know. I have hopes. I'm glad we won, and it makes the fall better when we win. But I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's still a freshman quarterback, and we got a bad schedule. But I think we got a couple of good warm-up games to get to A&M in a healthy spot and see what we got.
Yeah, got Tulane, Kent State, led by Moody Barrett, and then at A&M. So got a little time to heal up and get ready.
Yeah. I think that's the one that'll, the Cam teams didn't look great, to start the season off. So
that's true.
Nick Marshall team didn't either. So just kind of figure it out.
Yep.
See what they got and hope they get better.
Pam, man, you're doing a hell of a job. I appreciate you being at auburnsports.com. I know
thank you.
sometimes you and I butt heads, but I appreciate you being there.
No, it's always fun. It's always fun. I never bunker with a frown on my face. I always bunker with a smile.
And you're way cooler than your brother.
No doubt about it.
I'm just telling you that now.
The first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I bet. All right, bro. Hey, have a good trip back and behave yourself.
Thanks for all you do.
I'll see ya.
All right, bye.
All right, Power Man. One of the all-time greats. Yeah, it's probably going to be about time to wrap this bad boy up. Been on the air for about an hour and 45 minutes. Want to go through here real quick and see what anybody else is having to say. MDH says, MD Harold saying, I got killed in the bunker, out of context comedy gold. I appreciate you calling in, bro. Hayes says, we got a decent pass rush. When we rushed 4+, it was trash. When we rushed 3 naturally. Yeah. Doesn't have to be that way, but it was tonight. Yeah. Red Auerbach asks if Power Man is our best silver member. I didn't realize he was silver. I'm actually disappointed. Power Man, come on, bro. I know you can do better than that. Robert says, Derek Brown, not so good. He should be an NFL caliber. Did not see that. Dude, he was embarrassing fools at times. Now, I know he didn't have as many, like, wow plays, but he was playing at a pretty high level. And he was embarrassing Dallas Womack a couple times in that game, who's a pretty good lineman, who I think will play in the NFL. And Derek Brown was emasculating him. There was a play, I remember in the first quarter, where the play went away from Derek, but he knocked the guard like damn near into the quarterback's lap. He's a really good player. Mike wants to know, let Power Man go so you can answer my question posted at 12:50. Man, I can't go back and find all that. No, here it is. I just found it. So, yeah, I can't find it. Jay, do you think the receivers were kind of half-assing on certain plays? I think there were a few that the receivers could have made a better attempt at going after the ball than anyone else. Yes. Sal had one that was bad. Let's see, Seth. I think Seth's problems were more like he was like running slightly the wrong route or kind of like drifting when he needed to sit still. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say they were just being lazy, though, no. I mean, Sal had one. He had a couple plays that I didn't like particularly. If you're talking about a play that just looked bad, it was JD's giving up the touchdown to the tight end. I mean, I know he's out, as Tuver would say, he's out heithed with a TH on the out heithed, but I feel like he's got to fight for that ball. And then, like I said, Canella probably could have fought a little bit more on the interception, but, you know, it's part of it. All right. Anything else? TD says, well done, Tate. I appreciate you being part of the show. Tommy says, keep in mind, Oregon has one of the best offensive lines in the country. You're absolutely right about that. I think Oregon's going to win games. And I didn't give you that bullshit last year when Auburn beat Washington. I thought it was a half-ass effort, and Washington was solid but not awesome. And I wasn't like, hey, Washington's going to be there at the end of the season. I wasn't sure of that. But I'm pretty sure Oregon's going to raise a lot of hell in that league, and a lot of people are going to be loving it. Jeffrey wants to know, is Gus a subscriber? No, but Gus has people working for him who are subscribers, and they get him stuff. I'll put it there. Yeah. Love the Cat says, worst episode ever. Thank you for your support very much, sir. Jason asked just now, TD Moultrie. Yeah, I didn't think TD had a good game. He was playing a little bit early. He had a couple plays where I thought he just kind of gave up on it. And that's not going to work for Rodney Gardner. We saw Jaron Handy playing in clutch time, fourth quarter. Jaron Handy was playing. I think it was like the big drive, the second to last drive for Oregon, or next to last drive, and he was in there the whole way. I was like, wow. So we're going to probably wrap this show up. We're almost at 2 hours, but I'm not going to make it to 2 hours. There's no way. It's almost 1 a.m. here at my town, 2 o'clock in the Eastern time zone, so I will give you a Gus voice. Well, there's no doubt. I saw your show, JG. No, he didn't call me JG. He calls me Jay. I saw your show, Jay. It was pretty good. I probably would have watched it if I wasn't busy. He's pretty cool. All right, guys. Appreciate you being there. For you subscribers who have been here, appreciate you very much. If you're not a subscriber, jump on board. AuburnSports.com. It'll cost you about $8.25 a month, but you get access to, I don't really write that much, but like BMAT writes a lot. Nate writes a lot. Jeffrey gives you a lot of recruiting stuff. We have a great message board. I would argue it's the best message board like on earth, and people might fuss about it or whatever, but it's a lot of fun to hang out there. So, yeah, that's my opinion. Anyway, guys, appreciate you being part of the show. And we'll check you guys on the flip side again. I'll be writing stuff Sunday from the availability by myself. So keep your expectations low. Anyway, guys, appreciate you being part of the show. See you next time. Peace.